Hello amigos, como estas? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Aldan86 and today we're going to be talking about Mexico versus Brazil in the Olympics 2021-2020 semi-finals. It was a really good game, I thought, really end to end. Had it all. We had yellow cards, we had penalty calls and extra time, and it went on to penalties in the end. But yeah, I mean, this game for me it was a really good game. Probably the best game I think out of all the Olympics at the moment. Not in terms of goals, obviously it ended 0-0 in 90 minutes and extra time. Both teams getting really close to scoring. I just think technically it was really good. There was a bit of fisticuffs in it as well, as there normally always is in the high stakes games. But yeah, going into penalties, you're thinking, okay, by that point, Vega had come off, Antuna had come off, Henry Martin had come off, Cordova had come off. So I wasn't too pumped up for them, to be honest. I was quite apprehensive of them, actually. Mexico, with penalties is a bit iffy. But before I get into the penalties, I just think I should talk a bit more about the game itself. I think, for the first 30 minutes it was all Brazil. Mexico were hanging on for large stretches of that game, or that half, sorry. But I think Vega had a really good first half. One particular long ball pass that he made to, I think it was Antuna, who then crossed it in, and I think it was Henry Martin just knocked it wide. That was really good run of play, but Mexico struggled for large parts of that first half to even get the ball, and let alone pass to each other and keep possession. I mean, we had no possession in that first half. It wasn't until the last 5 or 6 minutes, I reckon, of this first half that Mexico really got into a bit of rhythm. Antuna got close to scoring, Henry Martin as well a couple of seconds later. So thinking, okay, 0-0 at half time. We survived quite a hard first half, and maybe we can go out in the second half and really give it to them, but it kind of didn't work. Cordova, I think, had a really poor game. Cordova, for me, in this Olympics, has been very on and off. When he's off, he's off, and when he's on. Last game against South Korea, he was on. But today he was just off. He gave away a couple of fouls. I don't think he got booked. I can't remember if he got booked, but if he didn't, he was very lucky not to get booked. And I know at least 2 or 3 fouls that he committed. The referee was a bit weird today. He let a lot of things go. A lot of things on both sides. Waiting until very late in the game to start booking some Brazil players that I think deserve to be booked in the first half. But that's what it is. So it was an interesting game. Lots and lots of talking points. And yeah, going into the penalties. Aguirre took the first one, missed, unfortunately. Really terrible penalty. Just really soft into the corner, but the keeper saved it quite easily. And then Vasquez, I think, missed as well. So, missing the first 2 penalties is almost fatal in the penalty shootout. And, Charlie Rodriguez managed to get one back. And but that wasn't enough. We ended up losing 4-1 on penalties. So, it's a bit, very gutting. Mexico absolutely deserved, I think, to be in the final. One of the best teams in this tournament. And I think having Mexico in the final would have been really good for the tournament itself. Especially for the neutral fans. But, Brazil is Brazil, and they're always hard to beat. And, going into this game, last video I made, I was talking about how hard Brazil was going to be, and if we could beat Brazil, then we pretty much could beat anyone in this tournament. So I'm very gutted at the moment. The game's only been finished for about 15-20 minutes or so, so it's still a bit fresh. But I'm trying to look on the positives, and there are positives to take from this tournament. One, they're still in the fight for a medal, for the bronze medal. I'm not sure who they play yet. I haven't looked at the results for the other game yet, but Japan. Japan beat us in the group stage. I think Japan are still beatable. I think Mexico are better now than they were when they played Japan the first time. If it's Spain, fair enough. Just play Spain and see how it goes. So there is a shout still for a medal. I think if they get a bronze medal, I think that's still a really good result. But apart from that, I think players have shone in this tournament. I've gone on and on my boy Vega, obviously my favourite player, so I'm going to go on about him. But him, Cordova, although he's been a hit and miss, I think he's proved himself worthy. And who else? Linez. I mean, Linez is already in Europe, but I think Betis really needs to start paying attention to the player that they have on their hands, and they should start playing him more. Absolutely deserves to be a first team player in Betis, in my opinion. Vega, Cordova, Montes, Vasquez, Romo. I think Romo is a bit iffy, but when he's on, he's on. Antuna as well. I think all these players have shown. I think I think Vega, Cordova, and Montes at the moment, if I had to pick any players, those three I think should be going to Europe now, to decent teams, not just to like lower league teams or whatever, but I mean to decent top 6, top 10 teams in Europe, in the top 5 leagues, because they've shown their quality, and they all deserve to be senior national team mainstay players now. I think, as I said in my last video moaning about El Tri's senior team, I think that's Mexico's national team needs a revamp now. A bunch of players need to leave, a bunch of players need to come in, and those players absolutely need to be in there. So I think they've all played really well. Henry Martinez done really well. He's had a bit of a different start, but he really grew into the tournament. I think he scored like 4 or 5 goals. So, he really did well. He didn't really have a good game against Brazil. He wasn't getting the service. Martin thrives when Mexico has possession, and we barely had any possession this game, so he was always going to suffer. But I thought, I think he's had overall a really good tournament. And I think he needs to be in the shout now, really, for back up to Jimenez. I think it really is now. If you look at the Gold Cup and the Olympics, I think it's absolutely a fight between Martin and Funes Mori for that backup spot. And Martin might just pip him. I mean, Martin, I think, played really well in this tournament. So, so lots of positives. Hearing that there's rumours that Jorge Sanchez has been linked to Everton. Apparently Spurs have been linked too, but I'm pretty sure the media's just put Spurs in there just to make a bit of a rivalry. You can't. I think when a player gets linked to 2 teams, it creates more of a media frenzy and more of a clickbait than if it's just one team. But I'm pretty sure it's only Everton. I really don't want Sanchez going to Spurs, but no, I'm pretty sure it's just Everton. I think that's a good move for both player and the team. He's a good quality right back, and if he gets to move to Everton and improves, obviously he's going to be going to a better league with better players, a better opposition. It's easy to assume that he's going to get the opportunity to improve as a player, and then he can step in at a right back spot. Because I think Mexico's defence is definitely the weak link in senior team and the U23 teams. That'd be a good move if it happens. Hopefully Vega's being scouted by top teams now. Hopefully Cordova as well. Linez is, like I said, if he's not going to get playing time Betis, I hope he moves to a team, maybe like an Ajax or a Dortmund or something that's going to give him some actual game time. Linez has got bags of quality. He's arguably the most talented player in the Olympic squad. Reminds me a lot of Santi Cazorla. But yeah, I mean, like I said, there are positives to take from this. I'm trying to focus on that, despite being really heartbroken at the moment. Mexico failing to win a trophy or a medal in a day and a half twice kind of sucks. It could have been so much different. If I'd like to imagine that we'd won the Gold Cup and going into the final of the Olympics, getting either a gold or silver, that would have been epic. But this is learning curve. I think Mexico is in a transition now. It's been in a transition for a while, and I think it's like we really started to see it now. And actions and steps need to be taken now to kind of rejuvenate. And I think the squad is aging, the senior squad is aging, and it needs to be rejuvenated. And perfect time to get the Olympic players in. I don't want the Olympic players to go back into the status quo of them going back and playing the odd Malero in the US or something, and not doing anything else and staying in Mexico. And I don't want that. I want them in the senior team and going to Europe, as I'm sure most of the fans do as well. But yeah, anyway, I'm rambling on now. I don't want to talk too much more about it. Quality tournament, really proud of the team, really proud of the players that showed there. Ochoa, absolute legend. Unlucky to all those penalty misses. I mean, 4-1 looks bad, but if you look at all the penalties, he went the right way. He got a hand to a couple of them. Like, you can't really ask much more from there. You just needed our players to score their goals, and obviously they didn't. So, really good for Ochoa. I'm really happy that he decided to go to the Olympics and not Gold Cup. I think that was the best move. I think having him in the back really solidified our kind of a little bit shaky defence. And yeah, like, I'm just gutted for him. Hopefully he gets a bronze, and you know, he's staring at the end of his career now. So if he can get a bronze medal, you know, it's a decent end to a career that's been, you know, up and down. But national team wise, I think he's had a really good career. So yeah, really good for him. Yeah, I mean, there's not much else I can say about it really. I hope you guys enjoyed my Olympic series. You know, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the Olympics. I've enjoyed watching them. I get to watch them on my TV because my actual channel in Australia is actually showing the games, which is amazing. I'm going to miss that, to be honest. And I'm going to miss the kick-off times as well. It's kicked off at 4 p.m. my time. And I had a day off anyway, so I lucked out. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the tournament. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. Stay tuned for more. I'm always going to do Mexico videos, so stay tuned for them. If any players go to Europe, I'll probably do videos on that as well. So yeah, take it easy, guys. You know, have a good day. You know, as good as you can, despite being heartbroken and having to go to work or school or whatever you need to do. So yeah, take it easy, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Adios.